Ladies and gentlemen, please take your seats so that we may begin the program. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 2019 American Geophysical Union Honors Tribute. This evening, we will honor AGU's 2019 prize recipients, awardees, fellows, and medalists. All honorees were chosen for their meaningful contributions to the Earth and space sciences. Entering the ballroom are the 2019 prize and award recipients who are being recognized for their contributions to the Earth and space sciences through their scientific research, communication, education, outreach, and excellence in science journalism. Next is the 2019 class of fellows who have been vetted rigorously by their peers and have made significant achievements in research in their respective fields within the Earth and space sciences. And finally, our 2019 esteemed medalists whose extraordinary passion, creativity, and vision have made outstanding contributions to Earth and space sciences. Now, please join in welcoming to the stage Christine McEntee, AGU Executive Director, and CEO Robin Bell, AGU President, and Susan Lozier, President-elect, to make our 2019 honors presentations.
AGU's honors ceremony celebrates scientific insights and connections. Let's try again. I can't read that quickly. I failed speed reading in undergrad, too. AGU's honors ceremony celebrates scientific insights and connections made by individuals we are recognizing for being innovators in their respective fields. For this, the 2019 honors ceremony, we cap off a magnificent centennial year by celebrating the past and with the excitement for the next 100 years of AGU's members' scientific discoveries. I hope you have been taking part this week in the centennial events we've held and will continue to hold throughout this special fall meeting.
Throughout the centennial year, we've been celebrating the achievements of the past as a way to inspire future developments in earth and space sciences. To highlight this, tonight we recognize and celebrate our honorees from the first 100 years. Their amazing contributions to earth and space science are fundamental and essential to humanity's existence on this planet and beyond. The ripple effects of their work inspire us all and shape it for the better and for decades and even centuries to come.
We are very pleased tonight to have previous winners of the AGU prizes with us in the audience. Could all the previous award winners of the prizes for AGU please stand up to be recognized? Thank you all for being catalysts for the next 100 years of discovery and solutions and for offering your support to the 2019 prize winners tonight. We also have previous winners of AGU awards here tonight. There are nearly 24 previous award winners here. Would the previous award winners please stand to be recognized? Thank you as well for your support this evening for the 2019 award winners and actually for AGU at large, and for the important roles you have taken in earth and space sciences. Approximately 200 AGU fellows from previous years, some from as far back as the early 1980s. Actually, that is not that long ago, by the way. But anyway, some from as far back as the early 1980s are also in attendance tonight. Would all previous fellows here please stand so we can applaud you as well? Thank you, fellows, for the tremendous work you continue to do and for joining us again this evening. And we welcome individuals here tonight who were previously awarded AGU medals. We have around 40 previous medalists with us tonight, and we would love for them to stand and be recognized. Congratulations to all of you, and thank you for your contributions to earth and space sciences. And now I have a special thank you to end. We all know about the amazing contributions that our award and prize winners make, but none of them would be able to walk across this stage without the support of their colleagues along the way. If you've nominated someone who is walking across the stage tonight, if you've written a letter of support, and or if you have mentored one of tonight's winners, I want you to stand to be recognized for your contributions to our AGU community. thank you all to the winners, their mentors, their advisors, and their supporters.
Thank you, Susan. The 2019 prize recipients, awardees, fellows, and medalists you will see tonight also embody the spirit of AGU, spurring excellence and scientific understanding in extraordinary ways.
Each category, prizes, awards, fellows, and medals, recognize the honorees for their significant accomplishments in Earth and space science. While the presenter will provide a summary of the recipients' accomplishments as it relates to their honors, we encourage you to read the full formal citation for each individual in your program. This will provide a more detailed overview of their remarkable achievements. Now, please direct your attention to the screens for the opening video. This will be followed by the presentation of the 2019 prizes and awards by Christine McEntee, AGU Executive Director and CEO.
As the pioneers of Earth and space science, your achievements are advancing our understanding of the universe for the benefit of humanity. Your mission transcends boundaries. You explore, you collaborate, and you communicate the remarkable power of science to the world so that we may ensure a sustainable future. That's why today, in AGU's centennial year, we recognize your leadership and commitment to being part of the dynamic Earth and space science community as we celebrate the accomplishments of the past and look ahead to future discoveries. Your research is important and prestigious. It plays a critical role in providing solutions for the complex challenges our global society faces. When you apply your expertise, you demonstrate the power of Earth and space science to make the world a better place. And you create real change by raising the bar for research, by expanding opportunities for advancement in communities, and by improving the quality of life for people across the globe. In this AGU centennial year, your work has epitomized what science stands for, playing an essential role in contributing to the last century of scientific exploration and discovery. You've tested boundaries, challenged assumptions, and made significant contributions to your field. Your work has transcended and transformed understanding and has helped chart the course for the next 100 years of Earth and space science. We are here to recognize the best, the brightest, and most innovative accomplishments in our world today by celebrating you, the scientists, researchers, educators, journalists, and advocates who work tirelessly to communicate science's importance. Your achievements are raising the bar for a new generation of leaders in Earth and space science. Your discoveries capture the attention and imagination of the public. You help us see what's possible and what's to come. To all the AGU honorees, thank you for making sure that Earth and space science enriches and improves the quality of our lives today and tomorrow. Congratulations to this year's honorees.
Thank you, Robin and Susan. We begin tonight's ceremony with AGU's prizes and awards. As Susan noted, we encourage you to review the full citations in your printed program.
The winners of this year's awards and prizes are distinguished scientists, leaders, educators, and communicators whose outreach to the scientific community and the public help promote the importance of the Earth and space sciences. You are being honored here today for your generous collaboration with colleagues, bridging communities, your passion for research, transforming science, your commitment to improving the public's understanding of science, and your dedication to your institutions and students, inspiring the future. Thank you for advancing our appreciation of the power of science to improve our lives and our communities.
Recipients, please come to the stage when I announce your name. The first prize of the evening is the Climate Communication Prize, which is given for the communication of climate science. This year's recipient has touched the minds and the hearts of millions of Americans, combining excellent scholarship, well-honed communication skills, and a sense of purpose to deliver tangible, lasting impact. While he is unable to join us this evening to accept the Climate Communication Prize, please join me in congratulating from the University of Georgia, J. Marshall Shepard. Congratulations, Marshall. The Asahiko Terra International Scientific Ocean Drilling Research Prize is our next honor. It is given for outstanding transdisciplinary research accomplishments in ocean drilling. The prize is given in partnership between AGU and the Japanese Geoscience Union and was made possible by a generous donation from the Integrated Ocean Drilling Program Management, now called the International Ocean Discovery Program. The prize will be given by Japan Geoscience Union President Hodaka Kawahata. Hodaka, please join me on the stage to present the prize.
The recipient made transdisciplinary advances in deep subsurface geochemistry and microbiology in the integrated ocean drilling programs. She showed the microbial connections with the subsurface basalt and sediment. Please welcome the Asahiko Taira Prize winner from the Bigelow Laboratory for Ocean Science, Beth and Kat. Yeah.
Congratulations. Slip this way, Liz. Congratulations, Beth, and thank you, Hodaka. Moving on to our awards, we begin with the David Perelman Award for Excellence in Science Journalism News. This is given for a news story or series in any medium except books that makes information about the Earth and space sciences accessible and interesting to the general public. With habits honed in 2 decades of outstanding journalism, our recipient, a contributing correspondent from Science magazine, crystallized a casual conversation into a sparkling gem of a story on how a volcano sparked the worst year in human history. Please welcome Ann Gibbons. Congratulations, Anne. Our next Science Journalism Award is the Walter Sullivan Award for Excellence in Science Journalism Features. It is awarded for a feature stories or a series in any medium except books that makes information about the Earth and space sciences accessible and interesting to the general public. The recipient, Washington Post article, Next Stop Mars, examines a debate over where NASA should send a rover to look for evidence of past life. The decision compares sites on Mars with spots where life might have evolved on Earth. Please welcome from the Washington Post, Sarah Kaplan. Congratulations, Sarah. Our final journalism award is the Cowan Award, given for recognition of a journalist or team of journalists who have made significant, lasting, and consistent contributions to accurate reporting on the Earth and space sciences for the general public. The freelance journalist being awarded this evening has been writing about Earth science for nearly 25 years. In her work, she skillfully marries the technical aspects of geoscience with the human experience of living on a volatile planet. Please congratulate Alexandra Witze. Congratulations, Alex. The Science for Solutions Award recognizes a student or postdoctoral scientist for significant contributions in the applications of Earth and space sciences to solve societal problems. The award was established by the generosity of Peter Schlosser. Our recipient from the Lamont Doherty Earth Observatory of Columbia University works across boundaries to help families identify harmful pollution exposure. She champions citizen science and community engagement to help eliminate environmental health disparities. Please welcome Francisca Landez. Congratulations, Francisca. Next, we have the Twin Africa Awards established by the generosity of Shananda Basu. These awards recognize early career scientists from Africa for completing significant work that shows the focus and promise of making outstanding contributions to research in Earth and space science. The first Africa Award presented is for research excellence in space science. This year's recipient was selected for his pioneering research on the morphology of ionospheric irregularities and scintillation in Africa and their implications for aviation safety. From the University of Lagos, Akoka Yabo Lagos, please welcome Andrew Akela. Congratulations, Andrew. The next Africa Award is being given for research excellence in ocean sciences. Our recipient was chosen due to his excellence in research in understanding coastal response to sea level change on the African continent, and for developing research and teaching capabilities in South African marine geosciences. Please welcome, from Geological Sciences, University of KwaZulu-Natal, Andy Green. Congratulations, Andy. Our next award is the Excellence in Earth and Space Science Education Award, which is given to acknowledge a sustained commitment to excellence in geophysical education by a team, an individual, or a group. Our recipient from the University of Arizona was chosen due to his sustaining and innovative graduate summer course in ecosystem sciences that has made a lasting impact. Please welcome David Moore. Congratulations, David. AGU's International Award is given for making an outstanding contribution to furthering the Earth and space sciences and using science for the benefit of society in developing nations. Our recipient was chosen for her exceptional contributions building scientific capacity and earthquake monitoring capabilities in Haiti, Nepal, and Myanmar. From the U.S. Geological Survey, kindly welcome Susan E. Huff. Congratulations, Susan. Next, we have the Althuston Spillhouse Award, which is given to an individual in recognition of their enhancement of the public engagement with Earth and space sciences. This year's recipient is a PhD astrophysicist and a lead guitarist for the legendary rock band Queen. He uses his fame and even his music to skillfully promote and explain astronomy and space exploration to a huge and unique audiences. While he is unable to join us this evening to accept the Spillhouse Award, I know you're always disappointed as I am. I actually have curly hair like him too, right? So congratulating from the London Stereoscopic Company, Ltd., Brian May. Congratulations, Brian. Next is the Edward A. Flynn III Award, which is given to an individual or a small group that personifies the union's motto, unselfish cooperation in research, through their facilitating, coordinating, and implementing activities. This year's Flynn Award goes to an individual for his global leadership in design, construction, and successful deployment of seafloor sampling devices, selflessly improving the science of marine geology and geophysics. Please join me in congratulating from the Woods Hole Oceanographic Institution, James E. Broda. Congratulations, James. Our next award is the Ambassador Award, which recognizes outstanding contributions to the following areas: societal impact, service to the Earth and space science community, scientific leadership, and promotion of the talent career poll. We have chosen 5 recipients this year. The first of the Ambassador Awards goes to an individual who is a prominent leader in the field of ocean dynamics and climate change. In addition, he is an influential enabler of international collaboration for solving big scientific challenges. Please welcome from the Ocean University of China Qingdao National Laboratory and Marine Science and Technology, Li Xin Wu. Congratulations, Li Xin. Tonight's second Ambassador Award goes to an individual who led novel interdisciplinary research on how to maintain flora and fauna and how they can adapt to climate change, and built a diverse scientific community to guide management of these natural resources. Please welcome from the USDA Forest Service, Pacific Southwest Research Station, Constance Smiller. Congratulations, Constance. The third Ambassador Award this evening goes to an individual who embodies an ideal mixture of leadership and diplomacy. She vigorously disseminates the fruits of science while exploring regional and international impacts of the societal effectiveness that research empowers. Please join me in welcoming from Scripps Institution of Oceanography, Margaret Leinen. Congratulations, Margaret. The evening's fourth Ambassador Award is being given to someone whose exceptional service and sustained commitment to the Earth and space sciences and unselfish cooperation in promoting disaster risk reduction nationally and internationally makes him the embodiment of the ideal ambassador for its science and its benefits to society. Please welcome from the Karlsruhe Institute of Technology, Germany, Alik Ismail Zaydeh. Congratulations, Alik. Our fifth and final Ambassador Award of the evening is being given to an individual who has worked tirelessly to promote talented early career scientists working in Earth and space sciences, foster diversity, and advanced awareness of the societal impact of space and weather. Please join me in welcoming from the National Science Foundation retired Shinanda Basu. Congratulations, Shinanda. The last award of the evening is the Spillhouse Ambassador Award Grant, established in memory of our longtime CEO, Fred Spillhouse Jr. This grant looks to extend the work of AGU ambassador recipients addressing one or more of the following areas: society impact, service to the Earth and space science community, scientific leadership, and promotion of the talent pool. We are recognizing two outstanding individuals tonight with this award. The first Spillhouse Ambassador Award grant goes to an individual who will be using the funds to further the work of Washington University's Institute for School Partnership in the implementation of an open source free K-8 science curriculum now used in most St. Louis area schools. Please welcome from Washington University in St. Louis, Michael Wysession. Congratulations, Michael. This evening's final Spillhouse Ambassador Award grant is being given to an individual for understanding how farming decision influence surface and groundwater hydrology in very flat landscapes of South America, providing farmers and policymakers with tools and options to manage flooding risk. Please congratulate from the Universidad Nacional de San Luis and CONICET, Esteban Jobagi. Congratulations, Esteban. Kindly join me in providing a hearty congratulations once more to all of our prize and award recipients with one more round of applause. Now, please join me in welcoming Susan Lozier, AGU's president-elect, back to the stage.
Thank you, Chris. I now have the simple but pleasant task of asking all of you to turn your attention to the monitors, where you will see a short video that recognizes the achievements of our 2019 AGU Fellows.
AGU Fellows are pioneers and visionaries. Your work pushes past the boundaries of our knowledge and opens endless new possibilities. You are part of an elite class, with only 0.1% of AGU members elected each year. You are a highly influential group at the very peak of your prolific careers in the Earth and space sciences, and you serve as a beacon to your fellow scientists. Your breakthroughs and paradigm shifts are recognized by your peers and the global scientific community. Congratulations to this year's AGU Fellows.
This year, 62 distinguished individuals have been selected by their peers to become AGU Fellows. These new fellows' extraordinarily research contributions have greatly expanded the world's understanding of Earth and space sciences. Remember, this is an honor bestowed on only 1 out of 1,000 AGU members. I ask each honoree to come to the stage when your name is announced. Ladies and gentlemen of the audience, I present to you the 2019 AGU Fellows.
Zuhair Altamimi, with IGN Institut National de l'Information Géographique et Forestière and IPGP Institut de Physique du Globe de Paris, for developing the International Terrestrial Reference Frame, the foundation for measuring motions of Earth's surface, sea level, and ice sheets. Ronald Amundsen, with the Department of Environmental Science, Policy and Management, University of California, Berkeley, for pioneering the use of isotopes in the study of soils for interpreting land surface biogeochemistry and paleoclimate. Jonathan L. Bamber, with the University of Bristol, for pioneering satellite remote sensing and glaciology and building bridges to other disciplines of the geoscience community. Barbara A. Beacons, with the U.S. Geological Survey, for groundbreaking contributions in subsurface containment hydrology, the effects of fluids on plate boundary faults and induced earthquakes. Jane Belknap, with the U.S. Geological Survey, for outstanding research in desert soil systems and their response to environmental and anthropogenic stresses. Thomas S. Bianchi, with the University of Florida, for providing molecular level detail and underlying mechanisms of the burial transformation and flux of carbon in dynamic coastal ecosystems. Jean Braun, with the Helmholtz Center Potsdam, GFC German Research Center for Geosciences, and University of Potsdam, Germany, for his unselfish spirit and seminal contributions to our understanding of the complex coupling between Earth's topography, tectonics, and climate. Jimin Tsai, with the University of Illinois at Urbana-Champaign, for forging a new science of hydrologic change, accounting for human interaction and using it to advance water resources management. Ken Karslaw, with the University of Leeds School of Earth and Environment, for outstanding creativity and aerosol climate modeling. Benjamin Fong Chow, with the Institute of Earth Sciences, Academia Sinica, Taiwan, for outstanding contributions to the field of global geodesy, with applications to hydrology, oceanography, and dynamics of Earth's interior. Patrick Cordier, with the University of Lille, France, for groundbreaking work using microscopy and simulation to understand mineral plasticity and its applications to seismology and geodynamics. Roseanne Dorigo, with the Lamont Doherty Earth Observatory of Columbia University, for insightful, rigorous, and original contributions to the development of high-resolution paleoclimatology, particularly dendroclimatology. Eric A. Davidson, with the University of Maryland Center for Environmental Sciences, Appalachian Laboratory, for advancing scientific understanding of soil nitrogen and carbon cycles that improve predictions of how they are altered by global environmental change. Gart J. de Lange, with the Department of Earth Sciences, Geosciences, Utrecht University, the Netherlands, and Key Lab Marine Geology, Tongji University, Shanghai, China, for elegant contributions elucidating non-steady state diagenetic processes that improve the interpretation of marine sedimentary records. Andrew E. Dessler, with Texas A&M University, for creative and incisive studies of the influences of water and clouds in the climate system. Michelle K. Doherty, with Imperial College London, for the study of outer planet systems. Joseph R. Dwyer, with the University of New Hampshire, for key contributions to understanding energetic radiation processes in our atmosphere and establishing the field of high-energy atmospheric physics. James Farquhar, with the University of Maryland, for innovations in isotope geochemistry that transformed our understanding of the evolution of Earth and life. Mei-Ching Hannah Fa, with NASA Goddard Space Flight Center, for profound advancements in understanding the coupled geospace system during magnetic storms. Piers Forster, with the University of Leeds, for outstanding contributions to the development of knowledge on radiative forcing, Earth's energy balance, and climate sensitivity. Christian Franz Lenoir, with Centre de Recherches Petrographiques et Géochimiques, CRPG, CNRS, Université de Lorraine, for developing and implementing geochemical tools to resolve tectonic controversies and to constrain rates of organic carbon burial and of erosion. Antoinette B. Galvin, with the University of New Hampshire, for exceptional contributions to our understanding of the properties of solar wind, its solar sciences, and its structure in the heliosphere. Peter R. Jent, with the National Center for Atmospheric Research, for fundamental contributions to the understanding of the role of the ocean in the climate system and to its representation in Earth system models. Teres Garia, with the Department of Earth Sciences, Swiss Federal Institute of Technology, Zurich, Switzerland, for fundamental contributions to our understanding of lithospheric and mantle dynamics from a planetary evolution perspective. Dennis Arthur Hensel, with the University of Miami, for transformative insights into the biogeochemistry of marine dissolved organic matter and assessment of ocean carbon cycling. Ruth A. Harris, with the U.S. Geological Survey, for outstanding contributions to earthquake rupture dynamics, stress transfer, and triggering. Robert M. Hazen with the Geophysical Laboratory, Carnegie Institution for Science, for impactful, sustained, and creative data science discoveries in mineral science and mineral evolution, and for launching a new era to study Earth's history. Kosuke Heike with Hokkaido University for breakthrough discoveries and original research in geodetic science that have led to fundamental advances in our understanding of geodynamics. Karen J. Haywood with the University of East Anglia for world-leading innovative research on ocean physics, bottom water formation and export, and their impact on global climate. Russell A. Howard with the U.S. Naval Research Laboratory for fundamental contributions to understanding solar coronal mass ejections and remote sensing observations of the heliosphere. Alan Jones with Complete MT Solutions Incorporated, Ottawa, Canada, Dublin Institute for Advanced Studies, Dublin, Ireland, Macquarie University, Sydney, Australia, and the University of Western Australia, Perth, for fundamental studies of the solid Earth using electromagnetic methods and relating them to the broader Earth sciences. Kurt O. Konhauser with the University of Alberta for pioneering research at the intersection of biology and geology, giving us vital new ways to ponder Earth's past relationships with life. Sonia M. Crichton-Wise with the Department of Atmospheric Science, Colorado State University, for elucidating aerosols' role in climate and visibility by quantifying their hygroscopic growth and cloud condensation ice nuclei activity. Kitak Lee with the Division of Environmental Science and Engineering, Pohang University of Science and Technology, for transformational discoveries of the impacts of anthropogenic carbon and nitrogen inputs in the ocean. Zhang Xiang Li with Curtin University for insights into restoring pre-Pangean supercontinents and their connections to mantle superswells, true polar wander, and snowball Earth. Jean Lynch Stieglitz with the Georgia Institute of Technology for developing new methods for reconstructing past ocean circulation and for advancing understanding of the late Quaternary deepwater and climate variability. Kuo Fan Ma with the Department of Earth Sciences, National Central University, Institute of Earth Sciences, Academia Sinica, Taiwan, for fundamental advances in earthquake source physics using geophysical and geological data. Reed Maxwell with the Colorado School of Mines for outstanding contributions toward the advancement of integrated hydrological simulation across scales. John W. Merriweather with New Jersey Institute of Technology for fundamental contributions to understanding the thermal and dynamical structures of Earth's upper atmosphere. Sun Van Nien with NASA Jet Propulsion Laboratory for remote sensing innovations leading to breakthroughs in Earth science research and applications to hazard mitigation, ranging from fire to ice. Yao-Ling Niu with Durham University for stimulating a new understanding of the relationships between mantle evolution and melt generation at oceanic plate boundaries. Thomas Houle Painter with Jeffresi UCLA for breakthrough contributions to the understanding of snow-related runoff generation processes and their measure in mountainous environments. Beth Parker with the University of Guelph for fundamental advancement in characterizing containment mobility in fractured sedimentary rocks. Ann Pearson with Harvard University for pioneering and transformative contributions concerning the origins and paleoceanographic significance of microbial biomarkers. Graham Pearson with the University of Alberta for sustained contributions on the age, origin, and evolution of the continental upper mantle. Lorenzo Palvani with Columbia University for fundamental contributions to the understanding of the dynamics of tropospheric-stratospheric interactions and their role in climate change. Peter W. Reiners with the University of Arizona for validating the UTH-HE thermochronology technique and using it creatively to solve key geological problems. Yair Rosenthal with Rutgers, the State University of New Jersey, for fundamental contributions to the development of deep ocean paleothermometry and understanding of Pleistocene and Cenozoic climate changes. Osvaldo Sala with Arizona State University for integrative research on biodiversity and ecosystem functioning with sustained impact to science and society. Edward Scher with the Center for Ecosystem Science and Society, Northern Arizona University, for being a global leader in research that has fundamentally contributed to understanding the vulnerability of permafrost carbon to climate change. Sybil Putnam Seitzinger with Pacific Institute for Climate Solutions, University of Victoria, British Columbia, Canada, for fundamental research on the human impacts on the biogeochemistry of the Earth system and for inspiring policy solutions. Toshihiko Shimomoto with the Institute of Geology, China Earthquake Administration for outstanding contributions to fault and earthquake mechanics, in particular to mechanics of faulting and seismic slip rates. Adam Showman with the University of Arizona for groundbreaking work on the dynamics of planetary atmospheres inside and outside the solar system and the geophysics of icy satellites. Alex Sobolev with the Institute of Earth Science ISTER, University of Grenoble, Alps, France, and Vernadsky Institute of Geochemistry, Russian Academy of Science, Moscow, for groundbreaking work on magnetic melt inclusions and phenocrests to unravel the nature and source of compositions of mantle-derived melts. Carl I. Stiefel with the Lawrence Berkeley National Laboratory for pioneering and cross-disciplinary work on fluid rock systems through innovative reactive transport model development and application. John Suppy with the University of Houston for seminal contributions in structural geology and tectonics, including fold fault kinematics and thrust belt and strike slip fault mechanics. Carl E. Taylor with Lawrence Livermore National Laboratory for improving our ability to evaluate and intercompare climate models and for advancing understanding of climate forcings, responses, and feedbacks. Meenakshi Wadhwa with Arizona State University for outstanding contributions to the understanding of solar system chronology and the chemistry of Mars. Michael J. Walter with the Geophysical Laboratory, Carnegie Institution for Science, for advances in understanding the formation of Earth and its core, the petrology of the mantle, and the phase relationships of the deep Earth. John S. Vetlofer with Yale University and Nordis Institute for Theoretical Physics for fundamental contributions to understanding the physics of ice from molecular to geophysical, climatic, and planetary scales. Jimiao Zheng with Southern University of Science and Technology, Shenzhen, China, for elucidating solute transport mechanisms in heterogeneous porous media and developing codes for analysis of groundwater solute transport. Tong Zhu with Peking University for exceptional contributions to advancing fundamental atmospheric chemistry and to assessing impacts of megacity air pollution on human health and climate.
A hearty congratulations to our 2019 class of fellows for their innovative scientific contributions they've all made in their respective fields. Let's give them another round of hearty applause. Now please join me in welcoming back to the stage AGU President Robin Bell.
Thank you, Susan, I think. Our AGU medals are the final honors to be given this evening. They're considered to be among the Union's most prestigious awards in the Earth and Space Sciences. Please direct your attention to the screens for a short video.
Becoming an AGU medalist is among the most esteemed achievements in the Earth and Space Sciences. Today, as we celebrate your body of work, your lifetime achievements, and your sustained impact on our world, you remind us of the meaningful and far-reaching contributions scientific innovation can make when it is fostered and encouraged to flourish. Thank you for your unwavering commitment to progress.
This evening, we're giving medals to 17 scientists who have made their landmark achievements in their respective fields. These individuals exemplify their dedication to expanding scientific knowledge. I'll highlight each medalist's accomplishments. We urge you, again, to check your program for a more complete description. Medalists, please, as I announce your name, come to the stage. Our first medal is the Devendra Lal Memorial Medal, which is given for research in Earth and space sciences by an early career or mid-career scientist belonging to or working in a developing country. This individual, chosen to receive this year's medal, has made important contributions to the study of short-lived nuclides in early forming solids, as well as the study of heavy metals in pre-solar materials. From the Physical Research Laboratory from Ahmedabad, please congratulate Kujit Makamarhas.
I'm deeply honored and humbled to receive Devendra Lal Memorial Award and this recognition from AGU. Let me take this opportunity to thank my collaborators, colleagues, and friends who have contributed a lot in most of my research programs, and which has been recognized by the selection committee and the nominators. As most of you have known Dilal, he has been an inspirational figure for many people across the continents. I hope to forward his vision, his enthusiasm in science forward with my younger colleagues and friends. Let me also thank my mentors, Professor Goswami, Professor Ernst Zinner, and Professor Peter Hoppe to set me free on the exploratory path of planetary science. Last but not the least, I would like to thank my family, who has been a pillar of support at each and every step. And thank you again, AGU, for this honor.
Congratulations, Kujit. Next is the Joanne Simpson Medal, which is given for significant contributions to the Earth and Space Sciences by an outstanding mid-career scientist. This year, we're giving 3 Simpson Medals. The first goes to an individual for fundamental understanding of the multi-scale predictability and dynamics for breakthroughs in hurricane prediction through ensemble data assimilation. This medal goes to Fujing Shang, a distinguished professor of meteorology at the Pennsylvania State University, who unexpectedly died in July at the age of 29 after a short bout with cancer. Accepting the Joanne Simpson Medal tonight for Fujing is Xiaojing Shang. Thank you so much for doing this.
President Bell, distinguished guests and honorees, dear colleagues, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Dr. Yunji Zhang from the Pennsylvania State University. Dr. Fujing Zhang passed away unexpectedly earlier this year, and I'm here today to receive the AGU's 2019 Joanne Simpson Medal for mid-career scientists on behalf of his family. We are grateful that the AGU selected Dr. Zhang to receive this distinguished medal. Over the past 20 years, Dr. Fujing Zhang made tremendous contributions to the atmospheric and broader geophysical sciences. His contributions include innovative and pioneering research on atmospheric dynamics, atmospheric predictability, and ensemble-based data simulation at the mesoscale. He devoted boundless energy to engaging, mentoring, and inspiring undergraduate and graduate students, as well as early career scientists. His death is a great loss to his family, friends, students, colleagues, and our entire community. We will remember him not only for his achievements in science, but also for his warm heart, his kindness, and his infectious energy and smile that was ever present. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thanks, Yuji. A tremendous loss for both the scientific community, his family, and the world at large. And I have a feeling his tremendous smile is like what he would like us to share with him and his energy. The second Joanne Simpson Medal of the evening is being awarded to its recipient for having innovated analytical methods and powerful biological tools to uncover the origin of lipids and other molecules in the oceans. Her findings have transformed how biomarkers are used to study oceans and climate. From Harvard University, please welcome Anne Pearson.
Thank you, Robin, and a tremendous thank you to Kate Freeman, who sponsored my nomination for this award. She is a tremendous and inspiring role model. And thank you to all the rest of our community who permit me the privilege of an amazing and tremendous life spent in science. I've had the joy to work with an extraordinary group of mentors, peers, colleagues, postdocs, and students throughout my career. And while I'm especially saddened by those who are now deceased, including both of my postdoctoral mentors, John Hayes and Katrina Edwards, I look daily to their lessons of intellectual diversity, personal generosity, and excitement and enthusiasm for science. There are too many other important people in my scientific journey to possibly thank them all today, but I hope they all understand how much I appreciate their tremendous insights and their wisdom. With the support of my family, and especially my wife, Brooke, I received this award not for myself, but for all of the international scientific community and all that we do together. I hope more than anything else to continue to have a positive influence on the younger generation, especially as they look towards a future of anthropogenically induced warming and all of the many daunting challenges that that will bring. None of us is immune to the challenges of climate change, and it is time for us to come together as a community not just of scientific experts, but as global citizens to play a proactive role in securing the future for generations to come. Thank you.
Thank you. Congratulations, Anne. Our third and final Joanne Simpson Medal goes to a person who has had far-reaching impacts in geology, geochemistry, and planetary science, and for her selfless contribution to advancing science communication, education, and diversity. Please congratulate, from the Australian National University Research School of Earth Sciences, Penelope King.
I'm thrilled and honoured to be receiving the AGU's Joanne Simpson Award. She was an intellectual giant in atmospheric sciences and had an incredible career. It also means a lot to me that Sim-T Lee, a scientist whose work I really admire, took the non-trivial time to put together a nomination package for me. I've been blessed throughout my career to have many fantastic mentors, including the late Alan White, Bruce Chappell, and John Holloway. Importantly, though, I've had an exceptional group of really inspiring students and colleagues to work with. Most importantly, I'm really grateful for the unflagging support of my family. Without my husband, David Lizinski, also a geologist, I wouldn't have had this career, and my children, Nettie and Katie, keep me going. Over the years, many colleagues have said, Penny, focus. And I've listened, agreed, and then gone and done something new. I always thought it was short attention span. So I was delighted when the citation said I was a well-rounded earth scientist. Now I have a new way of framing it. So thank you, all of you who wrote letters on my behalf about my very windy career, which has sometimes been more like jumps rather than a path. I plan to continue working hard to embrace and support diversity in our community. And I'm in both our community and our science. Receiving this award really made me reflect on creativity and diverse approaches to our science, because I think that they're really hard to do. But I think that creativity and diversity are actually essential for us to do what we need to do in science. We all like the really nice, neatly defined story in the grant proposal, in the journal article, and in the media release. And we really struggle with things that aren't neat and tidy. But I hope that all of us, including me, can challenge ourselves to use both creativity and diversity, because I think we need to solve some of the most perplexing problems in earth sciences, like climate change. Thank you.
Congratulations, Penny, and thank you for your very thoughtful remarks. Our next medal is the Inge Lemon Medal for outstanding contributions to our understanding of the structure and composition and dynamics of the Earth's mantle and core. This year's recipient is one of the unique individuals to have contributed to the understanding of mantle convection and also the generation of the Earth's magnetic field within the liquid core. Please welcome from the Max Planck Institute for Solar Systems Research in Gutenberg, Germany, Ulrich R. Christensen.
I thank all who conspired to get me this prestigious medal. I was fortunate enough to be born at the right time and to meet the right people. When I started in research, plate tectonics was accepted, but its mechanism was not well understood. Also, computers had become powerful enough for simulating complex nonlinear systems. Walter Kerz, my PhD advisor, was not an expert for either topic. However, he gave me a free hand for developing mantle convection models. Dave Ewan taught me, aside from certain four-letter words in English language, the bold American way of tackling cutting-edge problems. Al Hoffman hosted me in his geochemistry department despite my ignorance about mantle isotopes. After I had finally mastered the fundamentals, we successfully married mantle convection models with isotope modeling. When I tried to give my research a new twist, I was lucky again. Geodynamo modeling had just become practical. Gary Glatzmeyer very generously shared his code, and Peter Olsen initiated me, who was coming from a very sticky world of mantle dynamics, to the airy physics of rotating magnetohydrodynamics. Neil Riebe taught me that numerical models become most useful when they are coupled with a scaling theory. With my student Carsten Kutzner, we determined the conditions for the dynamo-generated field to be dipolar. Julien Aubert and I clarified what controls actually the strength of the magnetic field. With astrophysicist Ansgar Reiners, I reached for the stars by showing that the magnetic fields of planets and certain kinds of stars follow the same scaling rule. It was a great pleasure to work with these people and many others. I owe them tremendously, and without them, my scientific career would not have culminated in receiving the Inge Lehmann Medal. Thank you very much.
Congratulations, Uli. The next is the Robert Revelle Medal, which is for outstanding contributions in atmosphere sciences, atmosphere-ocean coupling, atmosphere-land coupling, biogeochemical cycles, climate, or related aspects of the Earth system. Our winner is being recognized for her exceptional contributions to numerical model weather prediction, ensemble forecasting, and data ensemble assimilation and interactions between society and the environment. Please congratulate from the University of Maryland, Eugenia Kaleni.
I am very humbled to receive the Roger Revelle Medal. I want to express my deep gratitude to Mike Wallace, Steve Fosse, and Richard Daly for their kind and generous citation, and to my friend and mentor, even though he was much younger than me, Fuqing Zhang, whose recent unexpected passing has been devastating to our field and our scientific community. I am grateful to Argentina, to the University of Buenos Aires, and to Rolando Garcia, the meteorologist and dean of the College of Sciences there, where I received an extremely good and completely free education that later made me feel MIT was easy. After the military dictatorship attacked professors, students, and the dean, I left the University of Buenos Aires, and Dean Garcia recommended me to Jules Charne, my totally amazing advisor at MIT. Since about 40% of the science students at the University of Buenos Aires were women, I expected the more advanced MIT would have 50% women. So I was shocked to be the first woman in meteorology at MIT. At MIT, I met lifelong friends like Ines Fung, George Philander, Shukla, and Mark Kane, and others. I was blessed later to work at NASA Goddard and to learn and practice global modeling and data assimilation. Shukla was the head of the climate, and I was the head of weather. And we both worked for Milt Halem, so I learned a lot about climate and about life. And yeah. I became the director of the NCEP's Environmental Modeling Center, and after 10 years, my husband reminded me that power corrupts. And so I asked my boss, Ron McPherson, if I could step down. And I became a professor and the chair of the Department of Atmospheric and Oceanic Sciences at UMD. And there I found what I really like to do, work with students and discover with the students ways to improve models and data assimilation. Thank you very much.
What a great story. Congratulations, Eugenia. Next, we move to the Harry H. Hess Medal, which is bestowed for outstanding achievements in research on the constitution and evolution of the planets and the Earth. The recipient was chosen for his outstanding achievements in research on the timing of planetary differentiation, the age of the lithospheric mantle, and the origin of mantle plumes. Please welcome, from the University of Maryland, College Park, Richard J. Walker.
That one's been modified just a bit. So I want to start off by thanking the people that nominated me for this wonderful award, Roberta Rudnick and Jay Kaufman, and the people that wrote letters for me, and certainly the selection committee. I also wish to acknowledge and thank numerous students, postdocs, my colleagues at the University of Maryland, and colleagues around the world that I've worked with for more than 3 decades. All that's been accomplished in my lab over that period of time has been a team effort, and so thanks to all of you. They don't give me enough time to mention all your names, so you just have to take a blanket acceptance that I appreciate the input from each and every one of you. Much of my group's work has been focused on siderophile elements, so I also have to give a shout out to someone who's been long gone, V.M. Goldschmidt, for placing these elements in their own special geochemical category. I began working on siderophile elements by accident back in the 1980s. At the time, there was very little known about the rhenium-osmium isotope system, so I chose to work on that, and it proved an exciting venture into uncharted lands. Since then, we've moved on into some other interesting siderophile elements like tungsten, ruthenium, and molybdenum. And these elements are particularly interesting because they include products of short-lived radioactivity and also nucleosynthetic isotopic variations. So I think there's much to be learned yet from siderophile elements. Finally, I want to thank my wife, Mary Haran, who's also an isotope geochemist. Much of the research that I've been involved with over the decades has been supplemented by data that she and her colleagues have provided. And all the while, our dinner conversations have benefited from discussions of arcane geochemical topics, much to the dismay of our daughter at times. And my accomplishments would not have been possible without her contributions. So thanks again to all.
Thank you. Congratulations, Richard, and thank you for reflecting on how so much of our science is a team sport. Our next honor is the Robert E. Horton Medal, which is given for outstanding contributions to hydrology. Our recipient is being honored for the formulation of fundamental theories for flow of multiple fluids and transport in porous media, leading to new modeling paradigms for surface and subsurface processes in the hydrological cycle, geological media, and industrial systems. Please welcome, from the Department of Earth Sciences, Utrecht University, Majid Hazamadidah. Yeah.
I feel humbled and extremely honored to be standing here. Horton Medal is for lifetime achievement, and this cannot be done all by yourself. So I'm grateful enormously to many people who have made this possible. My family, students, postdocs, collaborators, and colleagues. I proudly share this recognition with them. At the same time, I dedicate the medal itself to all hydroscientists inside Iran who do excellent work under very difficult conditions. I sincerely thank Tisai Langasakare, Mike Celia, Rim van Genuchten, and Gunther Blüschel for nominating me and for their sustained support and valuable friendship. I grew up in small towns in western Iran, and a high school teacher who knew about my aspirations told me that if you become successful in academic research, you will set yet another example for people under such conditions that with hard work and persistence, you can become successful too. I hope this will be indeed the case. I owe my higher education to the scholarly environments at Pahlavi University, Shiraz, Iran, at Princeton University. In particular, my advisors, Iraj Javandel and William Gray, have been instrumental in shaping my mentality in research and academia. My career started really 35 years ago in the Netherlands, where my family and I have found their hospitality and opportunities. I have worked at RIVM Institute, Delft University of Technology, and Utrecht University. I have received tremendous support from Geosciences faculty of Utrecht University and my colleagues there, in particular, Ruud Schotting and Amir Raouf. I'm indebted to Rainer Helmig from Stuttgart University for years of excellent collaboration and friendship. Finally, I thank AGU for serving geosciences tremendously. I wish my family were here. That's not possible, but I'm enormously happy that my comrade and partner, Furuz, is next to me as always. She has made my life a success in every way. Thank you.
Congratulations, Majid. Now, joining me on stage to assist with the presentation of the next award is Tom Drake of the U.S. Navy. AGU's Maurice Ewing Medal, jointly sponsored with the United States Navy, recognizing an individual for significant contributions to ocean sciences. The 2019 recipient has transformed the understanding of the Earth's climate on geological to human scales. She's placed present, future anthropogenic warming in the context of ice age climate variability. Please welcome, from Lamont Doherty Earth Observatory, Maureen Ramo.
Thank you, Robin. Thank you to the Navy. Thank you to my nominators and fellow AGU members. It is a wonderful honor to receive the Maurice Ewing Medal, especially as every day I go to work in the Lamont Doherty Core Repository, a testament to the foresight of Doc Ewing, who insisted that the Lamont research vessels collect a core a day. Decades later, a revolution in our understanding of Earth's natural climate variability would spring from these innocuous cylinders of deep-sea mud. I arrived at Lamont in 1982, a decade after Ewing's departure. By that time, women had become a significant cohort of the graduate student body. Today, I would like to thank those gals especially for providing fellowship, support, and peer mentoring before mentoring was even a word in our vocabulary. So thank you, Delia Oppo, Christina Ravello, Roseanne Dorigo, Terry Plank, Robin Bell, Lisa Tokes, Julia Cole, Emily Klein, Carol Raymond, Carrie Haggerty, Ellen Capel, Anne Greneau, and others. I'm sure a lot of you recognize a lot of those names. Somehow we all thought a career as a scientist would be possible, even though there was very little physical evidence to that effect. I believe it was our critical mass that gave us confidence and strength. Of course, I'd also like to thank my family, my partner Ray, and especially my now grown children, Victoria and Daniel, for their unwavering love and support over the years. I'd also like to thank two organizations that never made me feel anything less than a scientist fully deserving of a seat at the table, and that is the National Science Foundation and the International Ocean Drilling Programs. My career would not have been possible without the early support provided by those organizations. Lastly, I'd like to thank my colleagues at Lamont, to where I returned in 2011. It is an absolute pleasure to go to work every day and be among so many smart and inspiring people who are passionate about our planet's past, present, and future. I'm truly grateful. Thank you.
Congratulations, Mo. Our next honor is the Walter H. Booker Medal, which is given for original contributions to the basic knowledge of crust and lithosphere. The recipient masterfully combines elegant physical models with geological observations to answer fundamental questions on continental deformation, origins evolution, and the dynamics of subduction. While she could not join us in person this evening because she's on a ship in Antarctica, we will, my kind of place, right? We will share pre-recorded marks from the Department of Earth and Atmospheric and Planetary Sciences Massachusetts Institute of Technology. Let us congratulate Lee Royden.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's a very great pleasure to be here to accept the 2019 Booker Medal. I regret that I'm not able to be there in person, but when you hear me speaking, I will be on a ship somewhere off the Antarctic Peninsula on an endeavor that I committed to long before I heard the news, the wonderful and surprising news that I would be receiving the Booker Medal tonight. Of all the people who have helped me forward in my career, there are three in particular whom I would like to thank. First, my advisor, John Slater, who taught me that if you're never wrong, you're not sticking your neck out far enough. Second, my colleague and former husband, Clark Birchfield, who taught me everything I know about field geology and the importance of interpreting field relations within a regional tectonic context. And finally, my friend and former colleague, Marcia McNutt. Marcia did everything ahead of me, was hired at MIT ahead of me, got tenure ahead of me, had children ahead of me, and following in Marcia's footsteps, it never occurred to me that as a woman, I couldn't do all of these things too. It's only now, in retrospect, that I realize what a rare and wonderful gift that was. In my mind's eye, as I look out across the stage and see so many fabulous women scientists receiving medals and awards from AGU, I regret that I'm not there to participate in person. But even more, I look forward to the day when so many women scientists deservedly receive awards from AGU, and we think it not at all to remark on how many women are on the stage. So, from the bottom of my heart and the bottom of the world, thank you very much.
Congratulations to Wiki. Next is the John Adam Fleming Medal, which is awarded for original research and technical leadership in geomagnetism, atmospheric electricity, aeronomy, space physics, and related sciences. Our recipient was chosen for her seminal contributions to understanding the collisionless shocks and the dynamics of the magnetospheres of the Earth and outer planets, and for selfless mentoring a generation of students. While she's unable to join us this evening to accept the Fleming Medal, please join me in congratulating, from the Planetary Institute of Science, Tucson, Arizona, Michelle Thompson. Congratulations to Michelle. Next are the James B. McElwain Awards, which are given for significant contributions to the geophysical sciences by an early career scientist. This year's McElwain Medals are being awarded to 5 individuals. Our first McElwain medalist was chosen for his outstanding contributions to our understanding of ocean dynamics, the transport of plankton, and plastics using Lagrangian techniques. Please congratulate from Utrecht University, Eric Van Siebel.
Thank you for this great honor. I'm super excited and stoked to get this medal. I'm so lucky to have been surrounded by inspiring, good-natured supervisors, colleagues and collaborators. Wilde Reuter, Peter-Jan van Leeuwen and Femke Voesebel during my PhD at Utrecht University, Lisa Beale and Bill Johns at the University of Miami's Erasmus, Matt England at the University of New South Wales, and Joe Haig and Martin Ziegler at Imperial College in London. And now that I'm back in Utrecht University, of course, Henk Dijkstra. And then add to that the more than 480 fantastic and inspiring collaborators and co-authors. And I can really say that I'm standing on the shoulders of giants. I'm fully aware and appreciate that I'm privileged. And I realized that not everyone has access to these chances and opportunities. So I'm in early career. I'm still young. So I will be an academic for a few years to come. At least I hope I can. Now, global society is changing fast. Scientists cannot simply keep doing science as we've always done. To stay relevant, we need to change every aspect of our research. Planning our research through co-creation with the broader society. Conducting our research in a fully transparent, inclusive and collaborative way. Communicating our research to the peers and the broader public. And getting recognized and rewarded in an unbiased way. Society rightly demands radically open science. The tools and ideas for this radically open science are in place. Now it's up to us, as a scientific community, to embrace them. Thank you.
Congratulations, Eric, and we'll see if we can rise to your challenge. Our next McElwain Medal recipient calibrated the cryogenian snowball Earth glaciations and developed a theory of Phanerozoic ice ages, bringing together the tumultuous transition from the microbial world to the modern. Please congratulate, from the University of California, Santa Barbara, Francis A. McDonald.
Thank you, AGU. I want to thank Joe Kirschvink for nominating me and my writers for their generous words. Little acts of support to undergraduates can make a tremendous impact, and for me, it was Joe who encouraged me to work in his lab. I'm also very thankful for very supportive departments, Harvard EPS and UCSB Earth Science. I thank Paul Hoffman for being a great advisor for me and an inspiration. To this day, Paul continues to challenge me about every aspect of my work, while also supporting me at every turn. I thank my great collaborators and friends for their wisdom and support. I would like to name them all here, but there's too many to possibly cover, and so thank you again. My graduate and undergraduate students have inspired me to be a better teacher and mentor, and have pushed my science. I thank my former graduates, particularly Oyanga Bold, Athena Eister, Emmy Smith, and Justin Strauss. And also my current graduate students. And lastly, I thank my family for supporting my weird rock whispering. My parents have provided a strong foundation and inspiration and continued encouragement. My brother Wynn has been the greatest field assistant in the world. And lastly, and most importantly, the love of my life, Kelsey, has provided me with limitless support, advice, and wisdom. And my daughter Zoe, who gives me great love and joy. Thank you.
Congratulations, Francis. Our next McElwain medalist was chosen for her mapping of the global patterns of Pan, for research on wildfires, and for leadership in increasing diversity in geosciences. Please welcome, from Colorado State University, Department of Atmospheric Science and School of Global Environmental Sustainability, Emily Fisher.
Thank you to my nominators, the awards committee, and AGU for awarding me a McElwain Medal. I promise you all that I will use this new superpower for good. Aside from making me very nervous, this award has given me a chance to reflect on all the teams that I have contributed to over the last decade. I found that ideas that are nurtured by teams, particularly diverse teams, have allowed me to see completely new questions that would have otherwise been invisible to me. Leading the WECAN team to study Western wildfire smoke has been the ultimate honor. Thankfully, this team is filled with some of the most competent, kind, and collaborative folks. I have learned so much from Vivian Payne and her teammates at JPL. They've opened my eyes to the future of satellite observations. I would like to thank my progress team for your patience with me as I learned how to lead a large social science research project. Finally, I've learned enormously from the women of the ESWN Leadership Board. Thank you so much to my great research group and department at CSU. Every day, I am surrounded by meticulous and creative graduate students and research staff. I've benefited from excellent mentors and leaders, including some who are here tonight. Special thanks to Daniel Jacob and Dan Schrag at Harvard, Dan Jaffe at the University of Washington, Ron Cohen at Berkeley, as well as Dave Randall, Sonia Kreidenweiss, Sue Vandenhever, Jeff Collette, and of course Ravi at CSU. To all my colleagues, here and not, thank you for pushing me to do more than I always think I can. I'll always try to return the favor, and I will pay it forward.
Congratulations, Emily. The fourth 2019 McElwainey Medal goes to an individual for his pioneering work on wave particle interactions, stability of the space plasma current shields, and particle dynamics within them, and extraordinary mentorship and service from the Earth, Planetary, and Space Sciences at the University of California, Los Angeles, Anton Artemev. It's okay. Almost, you know, so.
First, I would like to thank the Medal Committee for this great honor to stay here today. Most of my career, I was working like a theoretician, but even theoreticians do not stand alone, and my career significantly benefited from collaboration with a lot of nice experimentalists who showing me the many ways of verification and changing my models, although these ways always be very indirect. It's my pleasure to thank Vasilis Angelopoulos, Lev Zeleny, Forrest Moser, and Masahiro Hashino for strong support of this nomination. Working with you guys showed me how practically good theory can be and how important data becomes being supported by reliable models. In an era of strong specialization, I was truly lucky to collaborate with people totally ignoring the boundaries between spacecraft observations and theoretical models. Starting from the beginning of my career, I learned a lot from Lev Zeleny and Anatoly Nishtat, who mostly determined my way of thinking and working in theory. But beyond of theory, I was lucky to work with Anatoly Petrukovich and Rumi Nakamura, showing me the wonderful world of spacecraft observations, especially Interbol and J-tail cluster, and of course Themis. Combining observations and theory requires to be open-minded at a certain level, and I should thank Volkan Bum-Johann, Vladimir Krasnoselskih, Vasilis Angelopoulos, and Forrest Moser to help me develop this quality. I met and I work with wonderful scientists, helping me a lot during my career. Alexey Agapitov, Ivan Vasko, Didier Morinas, Andrei Runov, Shao Zhejiang, Gaetano Zimbardo. Thank you a lot for helping me. Without your help, there is no chance for me to stay here today. Thank you again.
Congratulations, Anton. The fifth and final recipient of the James B. McElwainey Medal was chosen for fundamental and innovative contributions to the study of hydrologic extremes during droughts, coastal floods, and compound natural hazards. Please congratulate, from the University of California, Irvine, Amir Aguchak.
I'm thrilled and honored to receive the McElwainey Medal. I wish to thank the AGU and my nominators, Isabella Velikogna, Manu Lal, Balaji Rajgopalan, and Vijay Singh. Studying and working on 3 continents and interacting with exceptional scientists from around the world have made my journey very exciting. When I was a freshman undergraduate, I was determined to go into construction engineering under the influence of a bad friend, Ali Alaipur, who is in the audience now. But an undergraduate research experience with glaciologist Fariborz Vaziri changed my career path, and I became a happy hydrologist. During my PhD, I was incredibly lucky to work with Andreas Bardoshi and Emad Habib, who introduced me to statistical hydrology. Joining Surush Surushian's group as a postdoctoral fellow was a life-changing experience. Surush introduced me to the world of remote sensing and changed my perspective toward research. I could not have imagined a more generous mentor, and I cannot thank him enough for his support and encouragement. I thank the University of California, Irvine, for taking the leap of faith to appoint me as a faculty, where I've had the good fortune of working with exceptional colleagues like Effie Fufula Giorgio, Brett Sanders, Steve Davis, Colleen Chu, and Fo Nguyen, among others. Over the past 10 years, I've had the pleasure of working and publishing with nearly 300 phenomenal scientists. I cannot possibly mention everyone here, but I would like to acknowledge the amazing interactions and stimulating discussions I have had with my long list of collaborators. Many of them are here tonight. I'm also grateful to NASA, NSF, and NOAA for supporting my research over the past decade. Most importantly, I owe this recognition to my current and former students and postdocs that I have had the honor to work with. I accept this medal with humility and gratitude on their behalf. I appreciate their hard work and dedication, and I want to thank them for their patience with me. Finally, I'm grateful to the tremendous support I've received from my parents. My heartfelt thanks to my lovely wife, Nasreen, who is an infinite source of support. Back in 2010, Nasreen and I attended the honors ceremony for the first time. I'm sure I'll see you on the stage 10 years from now. She whispered into my ear, while Rosalind Rickaby was giving her own McIlvaine remarks. I have to admit that she has always been right about pretty much everything, although she was 1 year off in her prediction in this particular case. I should also mention my 7-year-old son, Kian, whose favorite magazine is AGU's EOS, and my 2-year-old daughter, Kimia, who have to deal with my time away from home. I owe them so much. Thank you again, AGU, for this fantastic honor.
Congratulations, Amir. The final honor of the evening is the William Bowie Medal, which is given for outstanding contributions for fundamental geophysics and unselfish cooperation in research. The 2019 recipient was chosen for her groundbreaking discoveries around the Earth's mantle and core, developing key open access geophysical infrastructure and leading truly transformative interdisciplinary initiatives. Kindly welcome from the University of California, Berkeley, and the Collège de France, Paris, Barbara Moanowitz.
Thank you, Robin. This is an amazing honor which leaves me speechless, except that I have to say something. So first, let me thank my nominators, the wonderful colleagues that supported my nomination, and also the Bowie Award Committee. I only wish that Louise Kellogg, who co-nominated me with Karen Fisher, could be here today with us to join in the celebration. Her spirit is with us, I'm sure. I've been fortunate to spend most of my career at two vibrant institutions, IPG in Paris and UC Berkeley, where many inspiring and enthusiastic colleagues where I've shared the time with these colleagues. As I think back to the important steps in my professional life, What strikes me most is how lucky I have been with the support and particularly the breadth of mind of my mentors in the early stages of my career. To complete my master's research project at the University of Paris, I wanted to go abroad, anywhere really, on any topic. Jean Kowalewski sent me to the Harvard Smithsonian Center, launching me on an international pathway. My PhD advisor, Kurt Lambeck, a geodesist, as many of you know, let me become a seismologist. My postdoc advisor, Keaki, gave me the freedom to work on seismic surface waves and not on earthquake prediction, which was his plan. Back in Paris, Claude Allègre, a geochemist, put me in charge of the construction of a state-of-the-art global seismic broadband network, Geoscope, introducing me to the world of community infrastructure building. I'd like to encourage early career geoscientists to engage in community efforts aimed at generating and maintaining the shared and open data that are needed to advance our science. Yes, these efforts need to be sustained and started all over again, generation after generation. The time invested is never wasted. The interactions that result are enriching and often inspire our research work. We also need to keep educating each other across disciplines. Only by bringing together the different pieces of the puzzle can we gain profound understanding of how the Earth works. This is why we founded CIDER with Adam Dziwoński, Lewis Kellogg, and Stan Hart. I wish to recognize their contributions, along with many other colleagues, to CIDER's success. I'd like to share this medal, as they deserve it, with my graduate students, postdocs, collaborators, and colleagues over the years. I also owe a big piece of it to my husband, Mark Jonikas, who is here today, and my children, Martin and Magda. Finally, I'm honored to try and follow in the footsteps of my hero, Inge Lehmann, who not only discovered the Earth's inner core, but wrote her last scientific paper at age 99. Thank you.
Congratulations, Barbara. I am truly humbled by the scientific talent we've had the honor and the privilege to recognize this evening, not to mention being joined by many previous honorees in this AGU centennial year. To have so much talent in one room at the same time, both reaching back and reaching forward, is thrilling. I think that's a lot of what we heard in the comments this evening, was both reflections on the back and thinking about how science in the future is going to be. Over the past year at AGU, we've worked to ensure the centennial was this both a celebration of our legacy and a pivot to the next century of discovery and solutions. We've created new programs to establish avenues around the globe for engagement within the scientific community, and to build new partnerships with the public, decision makers, and the next generation of scientists. Our goal was to inspire the future. In the next 100 years, Earth and space science will be essential for the fabric of absolutely everything humanity does. Together, through AGU, we can connect, inspire, and amplify the voice and contributions of Earth and space science community for the next energy. Our honorees here tonight, past, present, and probably future, as we heard, will be that catalyst.
To all of the honorees who are recognized tonight, your tireless work to unravel, understand, and reveal both the wonders and mysteries of Earth and space inspires us all. We congratulate you for all that you have accomplished and look forward to all that you will do to advance the next 100 years of discovery in the Earth and space sciences. Please give a rousing applause for this year's 2019 Union honorees.
Thank you to everyone in attendance today for joining us to honor our recipients. I'd like a moment to thank AGU Executive Director and CEO Christine McEntee and President-elect Susan Lozier for their help in presenting the honors. Please join us at the honors banquet tonight at the San Francisco Marriott Marquis. But first, and more immediately, I hope to see you at the champagne reception for the honorees, which begins now in the lobby right here. Thank you very much and enjoy your evening.